Okay, thanks folks. I appreciate everyone taking the time to explain why they came. I think there was a few themes that came through. People want to find out a bit more about the 100 Promises and communities coming together on different issues. I maybe speak just a wee bit more in personal experience and why I'm interested in these 100 Promises. I've stayed in Glasgow really since about 2001 off and on, and I've twice been involved in campaigns to save my house from demolition. I've twice been involved in campaigns to save my local schools from being closed, and that really has made me think about the nature of the way politics is done. You hear quite a lot of cynical talk, oh they're all the same, you know, it's plague on all the houses, a plague politics, you know. And if you like, I'm actually the ultimate cynic, because I kind of think politicians will say what they can get away with. You know, that's just the nature of politics. Okay, maybe they're held back by their party, maybe they're held back by their own, you know, desire to be elected, or, you know, whatever it is. But if you let people away with murder, then that's what happens. And one of the things that I've found very striking about the various community campaigns I've been involved in is that often you've got one wee community that has found out a terrible thing is about to happen to it, and it reactively campaigns against that issue. You know, we don't want our houses demolished. But this isn't just happening in that community, it's happening across the city. And I think the thing that really typified the way in which I think politics is done in Glasgow, and a rotten way it's done in Glasgow is, I remember the second school campaign I was involved in, when the Labour Council, as it was then, said that children in Glasgow were different. They were exceptional. They learn better in class sizes above 35. And what was striking about that was not, it wasn't the cynicism of that. It wasn't the cynicism of that. It was the exceptionalism of that. And the idea that they thought, oh, we can just get away with saying that, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter what we say, we'll just come up with some random line. And that for me typified what was wrong in Glasgow, and the lack of, if you like, accountability. And yeah, okay, politicians will get away with murder if we let them get away with murder, but we were letting them away with it. That was the problem that I saw there. And recently I think things have started to change a wee bit in Glasgow. You know, the last election, okay, a lot of people want to change, whatever. The point was, there was a fight. There was a real fight going on, and that was a change in the nature of politics in Glasgow. And you know, out of that fight, we had these 100 Promises. And you know, if you take a look through them, leaf through them, there's some really good stuff in there. You know, they're going to build wind farms, publicly owned wind farms, and they're going to take the profits from those wind farms, and they're going to plough it into working class communities to get, you know, decent district heating systems implemented across the city, like Denmark or Norway or any of these other northern European countries that have got that kind of thing. And they're going to fight the coalition's unjust welfare reforms. And they're going to rebuild all the schools they knocked in. And they're going to fight health inequalities. And they're going to do all these other things. You know, great stuff, it has to be said. There's some stuff I don't agree with it. You know, I mean, I wasn't really that keen on the Jubilee celebrations, but, you know, there are good things, good promises in that manifesto. But is it just a piece of paper? You know? It goes back to that question of the 35, class size of 35. If we let them away with murder, then, you know, they will take as much as they're given. And I don't think that's to do with the Labour, I think it's to do with the nature of accountability in democracy, and we've been lacking that. And that's what I want to change. You know, that's kind of why I'm involved in this meeting and so on. So we've got a number of initiatives that we're trying to do. We've got film, and you know, we're trying to show how Labour implement this manifesto, what they do when they're challenged about not implementing that aspects of it, because since the election, 5 of the promises have been broken. You know, 5 of these promises have been broken. We've had a councillor bang to rights about being an unregistered landlord. That's against their, you know, their promises. The very same councillor banged to rights about licensing stuff. They're going to crack down on licensing. You know, there has been lots of walking away from that stuff. So we need to hold this council to account, and one of the ways we're going to do that is by shining a spotlight on them. And the other ways, we hope are going to come out of this meeting. So I would ask folk if there's an opportunity later on to maybe give us a sponsor for the film and help make that happen. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask